I got a question for you. Can you love someone and find your way back to liking them? I'll ask you that again. Can you love someone and find your way back to liking them? Well, why am I discussing this today? On July 1st in Canada, it is Canada Day. So happy Canada Day to all my fellow Canadians. Why am I discussing this today? Because in conversation with people within my family, and including myself, I've said to many people, I really love that person, but I don't really like them. And it kind of struck home to me in the last couple of days. Well, can I ever find my way back to loving that person, or part of me liking that person beyond just loving them? Hey, Matt, I believe you can. I never used to think that when I was younger and maybe not as wise from all the mistakes that I've made. That became life lessons that created more wisdom for me. But bottom line, I think you can, if you love somebody and you don't really like them anymore, but you still love them. It could be, in many different circumstances. It could be an ex-significant other. It could be a relative like a sister or brother, aunt, uncle, maybe even your parents. Maybe it's somebody that you've worked with in the past that you really loved, you really cared for, but you don't like them anymore. And you've said that to others, you've said it inside of your head because I've done it. But is there a point where you can actually get back to liking somebody that you love? I think it takes effort. It takes forgiving them for whatever they caused in your mindset. Yes, there can be things that are horrible that you can't forgive people, and you still love them. So I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is there's people in my life, and maybe there's people in your life that you love, but you stopped liking, and you stopped working at that relationship. You stopped trying to be positive and kind, and you just went into ignore mode. Have any of you ever been that way, where you've ignored somebody? You love them with all your heart, and you couldn't wait to hang out with them in the past, and now all of a sudden, life changes. Right? You get into whatever circumstance, they do something wrong, or you assume they've done something wrong, and you've never given them the benefit of the doubt. So maybe going from loved back to like as well involves communication. Sometimes we don't communicate enough, and sometimes we make too many assumptions in regards to what we are saying to others, right? What are we saying to them? Are we saying, you're not worth it? I'm not worth it? I'm just going to walk away and still love you, but not like you, and hope that we aren't hanging out very much. And, like I've said myself, just recently I said to people and said, you know what? I kind of don't like that person. I love them, but I don't like them. And I don't want to be around them more than a few hours at a time because they get under my skin. Well, is it their problem or is it my problem? Am I internalizing it? Or am I trying to communicate and figure out with them why I'm feeling that way? Or have I internalized it and thought about it after I'm not around them? Why do I feel like that? Is it something that I've done? It's easy, remember, to point at people and have three fingers pointing back at you. So always remember, it takes just as much effort to like somebody as well as love somebody. So yes, I do believe you can love somebody and not like them, but I don't believe that has to stay that way anymore. Upon reflection, I think we can put in some effort. We can, evaluate the circumstance and what our role played in me or you not liking that person anymore. And maybe you can repair the damage or make a decision that the damage isn't worth repairing, but at least you can go away feeling better about the whole circumstance instead of actually, saying stuff like I've said, and maybe you've said, I love that person, but I don't like them. I don't like hanging out with them. That's a horrible way for the rest of my life to have people in my life that I think about that. So it's time for reevaluating. It's time to kick my kindness mode in 100,000%, communicate with people and say, hey, such and such happened. This kind of bummed me out, or, let's see if we can figure this out. Open, honest communication, and maybe you can get back to liking that person beyond the fact of just loving them and not liking them anymore. So, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to DM me, drop me a comment below. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be that person that lives in the past and keeps on saying, well, I love that person, but I don't like them. And when I do have to see them, I don't want to see them very often or very long. I want to work on me, figure out what the real challenge is and why I feel like that, and then make a decision. Burn the bridge or repair the bridge. I hope that makes sense. Hey, David. Hey, Deb. Hey, Gerard. Miss Morgan. Hey, there's so many. Sorry. Hey, Sharon. It's flying by here. I got a few people watching. I really appreciate you all supporting me. But at the end of the day, I honestly believe you have to make choices in life. You have to either repair relationships and move on, or burn the bridge. I know it may sound harsh, but I'd rather know full well that I'm not torturing myself to hang out with people that I don't really like being around, right? And there's quite a few people like that in my life. So it's time for me to reflect, suck it up, and go and communicate and see if I can go from just loving them and not liking them and go from loving and liking them again. Appreciate y'all. Hey, Roland, how's it going, brother? Hey, Brian. Hashtag replay. Peace out. Why do I say all this stuff and talk to you guys every single day for the last 123 days? Because I give a heck. Peace out. Happy Canada Day to my fellow Canadians. Love you all.